I'm filming this on the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and when they released this camera a little bit more than a year ago, everyone knew it would be a pretty popular camera. But what I think even surprised DJI is just how popular this camera has become. It seems everyone has got one of these and they're using it to film all of their social media content instead of a mirrorless camera. But why is that? Well, let's find out, shall we? When this camera first came out, I got to test it out a little bit and I was very pleasantly surprised. One, it fits in your pocket, as the name implies, but also in the right conditions, it's very hard to distinguish the Pocket 3 from your regular camera. And it also comes with some incredible smart features which make it a breeze to shoot with if you're a solo shooter. And if we're comparing this to a smartphone camera, for example, it's going to blow most phones out of the water. First off, we have the gimbal built in so I can get very stable walking shots like this. And also, thanks to its 1-inch sensor, your overall image quality is going to be much better. We have so much more versatility with the Pocket 3, which allows you to get really creative with your shots. And also, having a dedicated device allows you to stay in the moment and concentrate on what you're filming. You're not going to get interrupted by a phone call or a notification. You're just going to be in the moment filming exactly what you want. I think one of the main reasons though why the Osmo Pocket 3 became so popular is because of how easy it is to use for both beginners and pros. Now hear me out here and let me know in the comments if you relate to this or not. You're walking around a place and you want to grab a cool shot of someone or something, but your gear is in your bag, and to get the shot you've got to open your bag, put a lens on your camera, put a mic on maybe, and now either the moment's passed or you're weighing up if going to all of that effort is worth it for the shot. And more often than not, you convince yourself that it's not worth it and you just carry on with your day. But if you're shooting with the Pocket 3, you just pull it out of your pocket, flip up the screen, you press one button, and then you record in 4K 10-bit stabilized footage. So not only are you capturing fantastic quality within literally 2 or 3 seconds, but if you're out shooting with your friends and you're trying to get those candid moments, having such a tiny camera out, your friends that are not used to being on camera, they'll feel much more relaxed. So those candid moments are probably gonna look a lot better. But just to show you how good this camera can be, I'm going to put the Pocket 3 side by side with a pro level camera. Now, I'm going to give you a few seconds, but can you tell me which one is which? Okay, so the Pocket 3 is camera A and the professional camera is camera B. Now, you might have been able to tell the difference there, but I'm guessing it took you more than one look and you might have second guessed yourself. And considering comparing a 1-inch sensor to a full frame sensor, it just shows you how impressive the Pocket 3's image quality really is. And 3, 2, 1. Now, is this going to replace your everyday camera? No. Having an interchangeable lens system has so many benefits and is really important for everyday content creators. But if you need to go somewhere that's discreet or somewhere that doesn't allow mirrorless cameras for whatever reason, having the Pocket 3 is the perfect option for that to still get high quality. Or if you're out all day and you're shooting for a long time, but you don't want to carry too much gear, this is also a great option. And on that note, here are a few differences between a mirrorless or DSLR camera that you might already have compared to the Pocket 3. So first off, we have no weather sealing with the Pocket 3. So if you're in any rain or any inclement weather, it's probably best to keep this in your bag just to be on the safe side and use your other camera in those instances. And as I mentioned before, we have a 1-inch sensor on the Pocket 3. Now this is a great sensor, don't get me wrong, but if you have an APS-C size sensor or a full frame size sensor, it's definitely going to be better to use those, especially in lower light situations, because you're going to get more natural light hitting in and you'll get a better quality image. And finally, we don't have too much wiggle room in terms of changing the focal length on the Pocket 3. We have a 20mm full frame equivalent unless we have the wide angle attachment, and if I clip that on like that magnetically, that changed it to a 15mm full frame equivalent. Now this might not seem that drastic, but even having this one option, especially when you may be vlogging and you need that extra little bit of reach, it really is important to have this wide angle lens, so I recommend that in the Creator Combo Pack. Another thing you do get with the Creator Combo is a DJI Mic 2 transmitter. Now this pairs perfectly with the Pocket 3. You literally turn it on, you'll get a message on the screen saying it's paired and how much battery you have left in it, and then you're ready to go and use it straight away. Now, because we're in the DJI ecosystem, it fits perfectly. You literally turn it on and it's connected. It's so easy to connect, and especially when I'm using a mirrorless camera, for example, I've got to do several number of steps to pair a microphone. Having this good audio really quickly, especially when we're in somewhere like New York City, is really important to have. I said before, it's really easy for beginners and pros to get great results using the Osmo Pocket 3. And that's because straight out of the box in full auto mode, beginners can still get fantastic results. But if you're a professional and want to maximize the full potential of this camera, you change the camera into pro mode, where you can dial in all of your settings and really push this camera to the limits. That's one big pigeon. So in pro mode, if you make your shutter speed double your frame rate, whack an ND filter on if it's too bright, which is really easy. They just magnetize on like this, like so. And then you change your color profile to D-Log M. You can take your image from looking like this all the way to this. Now, if you're wondering what D-Log is, basically this is a flat color profile. It kind of films everything in grayscale, which gives you more information in the sensor in the darker and brighter points of the image. It basically means that you'll have way more flexibility if you want to color correct or color grade your footage to get a more stylized look in post-production. Now, if this all sounds a bit confusing or you just don't really care about it, do not worry. Just stick it in normal color profile and you'll still get great results. But the beauty of the Osmo Pocket 3 is that you can grow with this camera, so when you're ready to push yourself and push your camera to further and more professional things, you can do that with the Osmo Pocket 3. Now, if you're still unsure about log footage but you'd like to know more, let us know in the comments down below and we'll make a video on that in the future. So the Pocket 3 has some really cool smart features that both beginners and pros are going to love. So starting off, we have spin shot, which is a 90 or 180 degree turn that the gimbal does automatically once you press the joystick. Now, this is a really great feature if you want to get a creative shot that is really hard to do manually. So especially if you're just starting out and you want to try something different, this is a really cool thing to experiment with. But for you professionals out there, the one thing that I've been using the most is Active Track. Now, to enable this, it's really simple. You just double tap your face on the screen and then you'll get a green box around it. But just to be warned that you kind of have to readjust before you start filming, because otherwise your face is going to be dead center, and that's not the best framing, especially if you're doing an A-roll segment like this. So I've got myself in the top third right now, and this just looks a lot better, but I still, no matter if I move again, I'm going to stay in that position no matter what. So this is great if you're a solo shooter, you stick it on a tripod, figure this out, and you look great. So is the Osmo Pocket 3 perfect? No, it definitely has some drawbacks, but what it does do perfectly is fit that gap in the market for both beginners and professionals. If you're a beginner who's just coming from a smartphone, this is a massive step up and it will allow you to take your videography more seriously. And if you're a professional who's looking for a B cam or a travel cam that you want something to be a bit more light, a bit more portable and discreet in some cases, this is a great option that will still deliver high quality video and great audio if you need it. Now, if you have an Osmo Pocket 3, I would love to hear why you bought it in the comments, what you thought of it, and if it's lived up to your expectations. If you drop it in the comments, I would love to hear it. If you have any more questions on the Pocket 3, also drop them down below. But in the meantime, I've been Matt, and thanks for geeking out with me about the Osmo Pocket 3.